Welcome back to VMworld 2013. This is theCUBE, our flagship program where we go out to the events, extract the signal from the noise. I'm John Furrier, the founder of SiliconANGLE. I'm joined by my co-host, Dave Vellante of Wikibon.org.
Hi everybody. Praveen Akkiraju is here. He's the CEO of VCE, a multi-time CUBE guest. Praveen, welcome back.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Good to see you again. So yeah, this is a big show for you guys. I mean, it's
absolutely
the V and VCE, obviously. Yeah. And you're seeing the VMware really sort of make its move from a position of strength. You know, you're talking about 500,000 customers, you know, 20,000 plus people here at the event, so you got to feel really good about that.
Absolutely, you know, VMware is a critical technology partner for us, key ingredient of the vBlocks, obviously. You know, we're partnering with them extensively. Actually, Pat highlighted some of our technologies in terms of VDI delivery as well as the integration with the whole vCloud management suite that they announced. So really excited to be here. You know, the booth traffic's been just marvelous. You know, we're getting a huge amount of interest. It mirrors in a lot of ways the traction we're seeing in the marketplace.
So talk about the booth traffic a little bit. What are customers, I mean this is, I remember 2009 you guys announced, people like, what is this again? And, what's and then you guys really nailed that, you know, smoothed out some of the rough spots and then really, you know, hard to market. What are customers saying at the booth? Are they saying, who are you? Are they saying, hey, I got another problem? Are you still in that sort of introductory phase? Where are we in that conversation?
This year is really unique for us because we feel like converged infrastructure has crossed the chasm, if you will, to kind of use an industry term. We've seen customers now understand and get the fundamental concept of converged infrastructure and the benefits. So, you know, they really want to poke underneath the covers, right? Say, okay, well, what is, you know, how can I actually use converged infrastructure to deliver the results? You probably see people walking around with the 5X and 83X, you know, badges, which essentially is denotes the results we've been able to deliver: 5X faster deployments, 83X faster high availability. So they want to understand how can they actually achieve those results in their specific use cases. So, you know, we actually have some of our customers at the booth who are sharing their stories in order for us to truly can explain you know, what the value proposition truly is about.
Yeah, that's important because you guys had to go through a kind of show me phase, right?
Yes.
First it was like, what is this? And then it's, you know, does this really, can three companies really work together and service me? And then, all right, but what can it do for me for real? You didn't have enough experience. Now you've got those data
Absolutely.
points.
I think, you know, we've got credibility now. We're on $1 billion run rate, over 600 customers, 3 years of, I would say, scars on the back, right? Which have been very instrumental in shaping the direction where we're going. I think most importantly for us, you know, customers want to have a relationship now with VCE, not with Cisco, not with EMC, not with VMware, right? They believe and they understand what they can get from us, both in terms of, you know, the amount of customer support we can give them, the technical expertise on things like, you know, how do you stand up an infrastructure as a service, how do you re-platform to x86, how do you, optimize your infrastructure for an SAP HANA type deployment, right? So we're at the point where, you know, converged infrastructure is accepted. We're at the next step of helping customers actually deliver their application use cases on top of converged infrastructure.
So that's one of your priorities, obviously, as a relatively new CEO, bringing that brand identity to to VCE, and you guys may have made some announcements, so I want to get into that, but where are you at as far as, you know, the company itself? I mean, what can you share? You mentioned $1 billion run rate. Any details you can give on there would be great, but headcount, et cetera.
Yeah, so we're on a $1 billion run rate. We exited our last calendar year, fiscal quarter, at a $1 billion run rate, so we're well on our target to achieving that. 600 plus customers, growing pretty much. We're almost adding about 100 customers, new customers a quarter. And when we talk about customers, I think it's important to kind of qualify who we're talking about. These are Fortune 500 large enterprises in the energy, healthcare, education, financial sectors globally.
Across the board.
Right, and we expanded into Japan, we expanded into Germany and the Nordics, so these have been new theaters that we went into this year, massively successful for us in terms of penetration and the acceptance of our value proposition. Employee-wise, we've continued to grow. We're about 1,400.
Whoa, I missed something.
1,400 plus at this point. Continuing to add, technical talent, engineers. We're primarily hiring a lot of, folks who have data center expertise or database or application expertise, because, as I said, we're now transcended from just an infrastructure player to being able to actually help our customers deploy and utilize the benefits of converged infrastructure with applications.
Yeah, because you're not making the underlying products of the system. You're leveraging that in terms of integration with applications, and of course your vision announcement as well.
Yes.
So talk about that a little more. That's really where your engineering talent is going.
Yeah, so one of the key things as I came on board that we really focused on was innovation, right? Innovation is obviously the heartbeat of any technical company. At the end of the day, we're fortunate enough to get the $20 billion investment that collectively Cisco, EMC, VMware put out there and offer that in our products. At the same time, I think what differentiates us is innovation we're bringing to the table with Vision Intelligent Operations software. It's unique in the sense that it's the first sort of converged infrastructure management software that truly allows you to manage a scaled vBlock deployment. A lot of our customers now have global footprints of vBlocks, and they want to be able to see all of that in a single instance. And then we offer REST-based APIs to plug into a vCenter, or if the customer has a different management orchestration system, they can program to it. In addition to that, the other part of the innovation we think about is the services side. We have the fortunate, I know trusted advisor is a often misused term, in marketing parlance, but a lot of our customers truly look to us to give them recommendations on choices they make on management orchestration, right? On replatforming a major core data center workload. We had a customer of ours in the Northwest. They insourced their IT, put up a brand new data center in Minneapolis, and the entire data center was built off of vBlocks, and we helped them basically transition their environment from a traditional sort of I would say risk-based architecture to x86 over the weekend, right, without an outage. So those are the kind of things where we have built a set of innovation in the services side, set of tools, set of processes on which we're filing patents, which is going to continue to help us differentiate in the marketplace.
Praveen, I want to ask you about that innovation strategy. So, what's the bumper sticker for the innovation strategy, or the short version of the innovation strategy, high level strategy for your innovation strategy? And two, you guys led the way on this, on the vBlock. It was really visionary at the time, and now everyone's kind of following, which is obvious, it's natural evolution. And we just had IO.com, George Schlesman, they basically are talking about the data center, like the real data center, the one where the software will live in. So that's essentially got to be smaller and more efficient. So talk about the innovation strategy at a very high level, kind of like layman's terms. And then two, talk about what is really going on in the data center that you guys are engineering with VCE.
Yeah, I think if there's a tagline that drives our innovation, it's simplicity, right? We had a launch in February where we basically created the tagline, Unleash Simplicity. And if you think about the journey for VCE, our first entry into the market was essentially to say, hey, let's combine and break down the silos between compute, network, storage with virtualization to create a unique converged infrastructure offer. So that was basically simplifying the infrastructure. With Vision Intelligent Operations, we took the next step, which is essentially all about simplifying the operations of that infrastructure. And then we also launched this notion of specialized systems, where we said there's some certain key workloads like SAP HANA, like some of the databases or some of the use cases like VDI, which customers are willing to buy as an appliance. So if we're able to create a specialized system, we can further accelerate the adoption of those technologies. Right, so today a customer can come to us and say, hey, I want a 1,000 VDI seat installation. We could just rack and roll that straight out of the factory, so it's up and running in 48 hours. So, right?
So the IO guys are on the right trend. You're basically the same way. You're basically rolling in a turnkey solution.
Right.
for high-end, known use cases.
Right.
That's
and
really the big deal.
Absolutely, right. So it's essentially, as I said, the underlying theme is simplification, right? Simplify the infrastructure, simplify operations, simplify application onboarding. So our unique signature in the data center is, the reality is, look, I mean, you have a lot of greenfields, and God bless their soul, they have a clean sheet of paper, they can start with the right technology, 2013, and go build from there. But the reality we face with a lot of our customers, particularly the Fortune 500s, is these are brownfields. They have lots of legacy infrastructure, architectures that are built a certain way that cannot be flipped on a dime, right? So you have to be able to...
they've already been burnt out fields?
So we need to be able to go into those environments and be able to insert the new technology and provide a bridge to this notion of the next generation data center or be able to enable cloud. So I think that's where we truly excel. That's sort of the hard heavy lifting happens there.
Dave and I were talking yesterday, bridging the legacy is a critical function.
Absolutely.
And what's your strategy on that specifically? Just to bridge it? I mean,
so, I think
how do you talk about that?
It's a combination of two things. One is we simplify the way technology can be ingested into the data center, right? So when we go in, we sit down with the customer and say, okay, look, what does your environment look like? What is the IP infrastructure? What does your storage overlay look like? We even co-opt some of the existing storage as they're transitioning their workloads onto the storage that's incorporated into the vBlock. So we provide a lot of transition services, and the capability that we bring in addition to the product, is really competent folks who have experiences with databases and application installations, who can help the customer walk through that. So most times customers want our engineers to stay back and help them not only train up to operating the vBlock, but also be able to get the best practices, because you don't get the benefits of converged infrastructure unless you're willing to also transition and evolve your processes and organizations.
So Praveen, there's also bridging to the future. There, people talk about future-proof. You said earlier, you talked about, God forbid somebody wants to use a different orchestration layer than VMware, but it's going to happen. Are you doing anything specifically, outside of what Pat talked about yesterday, to incorporate some of those other trends, things like OpenStack and other open platforms? So
I think we've, we're very customer use case driven, right? So we have, when a specific use case comes in front of us, say, we're looking at, classic case for us is, we have a private cloud based on VMware, and you have a customer that has certain workloads in a public cloud, whether it's Azure or AWS, and how do you create a bridge between those two, right? How do you ensure that this data flow that's happening, or backup and recovery, ability to burst, right? So those are the kind of areas we focus on in terms of creating that bridge between existing infrastructure and what's out there in the public cloud.
Okay, so let's talk milestones for a minute. So we've heard the $1 billion run rate, so we're waiting for Joe to say, yep, hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
that's pending.
It's been a $1 billion run rate.
What other milestones should we be watching? What are the things that observers should be focused on as indicators of progress for you guys?
Yeah, I think continued evolution of our innovation roadmap. So, we're going to continue to focus on delivering new, exciting capabilities, whether it's on the platform side, whether it's on our software management capabilities. So I think that's a key metric. The other area I would really watch is the evolution of our services capabilities. So, we're going to launch some new capabilities, hopefully in the next month or so. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag here and get into trouble with my marketing people, but the evolution of how we're helping our customers adopt the technology. So there's a set of services suites we're going to be launching. Numbers are a good way to keep track of things, right? So I want to be a little careful here, so Joe and John don't pick up on this and set me a new bar. But I know that's coming, right? We're well ahead of all our target goals. As a private company, not free to share the specific numbers, but Joe and John both quoted about 50% growth rate. If you look at the market, it's growing anywhere from 30 to 35%, so we're going well north of what industry analysts predict the converged infrastructure space to be growing. And analyst reports have continued to reaffirm our leadership position. So, our ability to continue to maintain that and deliver a great customer experience is kind of how we metric ourselves.
Awesome.
Okay, Praveen, thanks for coming inside theCUBE, really appreciate it. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Leader of VCE, really ahead of the market at many levels. We've been following you for it's our 4th year following VCE. Congratulations. Everyone's catching up with the messaging. converged infrastructure was once, to now, that's what everyone wants, so congratulations. It's theCUBE, we'll be right back with our next guest after this short break. Day 2 of 3 days of VMworld 23 live coverage from San Francisco, Moscone South Lobby. This is theCUBE, we'll be right back.